Hi there everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel that I finally convinced myself to actually make. Today I will be drawing a fun little illustration. I already did a thumbnail for it and it's here. By the way, I just wanted to make a disclaimer that I am not a native English speaker, so there may be some misspellings or I might pronounce something not the way that you should pronounce it, so just bear with me, please. I'm doing my best. This idea is inspired by the fact that I really miss my dog, which is back in my home country, and I wanted to create something that included dogs and people interacting with them because I think it's really cute. So that's why that girl looks suspiciously like me, but idealized, because that's what you can do when you're making art. Make reality better. Okay, so now I've finished the rough sketch and now I just need to erase it lightly with my kneaded eraser and trace it with a more pointy pencil and give the character more definition and other artistic stuff. Do them, yeah. So I have been struggling to really find my own art style for a while now, and that kind of changed lately when I happened to draw a bunch of fan arts from Studio Ghibli stuff, and I really liked how they turned out. Because when it's like draw it in your style kind of thing, you really need to focus on what really is your style, and in my case it was what could make my style, and I started focusing on how to make it different from what it already is, because I struggle with that. I happened to do something that I'm actually happy with, so that's good. So now that the sketch is done, I will go back to the little thumbnail I made a few pages ago, and I'll figure out the color scheme, because I'm not really good with like just going with it and picking colors on my own on the fly, because I'm not that good at picking colors that much, and that probably is not a great thing to say if you're third year of graphic design course. By the way, can you hear how incredibly cringy and awkward I am recording this? Because I surely can. So this time I'm using my Ohuhu alcohol markers, because they're cheap and there's a lot of them, and I don't have that much experience with using alcohol markers, but I have been away from my stuff for a long time, and now I'm reunited with them, and I'm just happy to use my art supplies that I have left behind. So that's the angular shadow thing I told you about. I think it's really fun to just do a quite dramatic color difference between the base color and the shadow color, and just make it absurdly angular, because I never have been like super good at shadowing. I mean, physically I know where they should be, but it always looks like more natural on the photos than when you actually have to figure out where like a darker blob should be on your painting. So I'm trying to get by as I can and call it that it's a style choice and not my lack of skill. At this point I decided that actually the color difference between the base color and the shadow color is actually too dramatic, and I went over it with this nice pastel pink to make it less awkward. And now on to the best part, which is coloring the doggos. To anyone wondering, I don't actually have two dogs, but it was for the sake of composition. It looks more pleasing, and well, I would be the happiest person on earth if I had two dogs. That would be great. Or even three. Oh my god. As much dogs as you can give me, I will be like my happiness would increase every new dog I have. But I'll love them all still the same. Anyway, back to the coloring. Now that I'm finished with coloring with markers, I go in with really old blue color pencil, because I think it's like a nice texture difference between the like really soft marker marks and marks that are left by the pencil are more like rough. And I think it's a nice contrast. I also like to make this like scratchy comic book style of shadows with the line art color, where they should be, you know, double shadow, because I think it's just fun and it gives like more depth, I think. And it's like the next thing that I thought would differentiate my style from the others, so that's always good. Yeah, so now just sign it and it's pretty much done. Thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to do all the YouTube stuff that needs to be done. And see you next time. Bye bye!